Hey guys, welcome back to another OTS Deck Tech. This is Polyfly, and today I have a really cool deck for you today. With the release of ARH's new set High Stakes, we got a lot of new characters to try out. And one of those that we're trying out today is Cara Dune, an 11 health, 11-14 costed trooper character with a couple of really cool abilities. First off, she has a passive that says if this character has a weapon on it, you may resolve the damage sides as range. So her 1 stick, 2 stick, 2 stick can be resolved as range damage if she has a weapon on her, which is really good in this instance because with troopers, that's usually what we're putting on them is blasters and weapons of the sort that have range sides. And so you can use those sticks as range sides for any modifiers or anything that you have come up. She also has a power action that says resolve one of this character's character dice showing damage and either increase its value by 1 if it's against a villain, or give a character 1 shield if it's against a hero character. So a lot of flexibility, not just a static ability that only works against heroes or only works against villains. You get a lot of nice flexibility, extra shield, extra point of damage to really hit home. We're also playing her today with Dameron. Dameron, 11 health, 13, 16 point costed character leader trooper with an action that says resolve any number of your trooper dice in the order of your choice. Really, really strong action, especially with someone like Cara Dune, where you could resolve Kess's, I don't know, 2 focus into a Cara Dune 2 stick, 2 stick, and auto resolve those 4 damage as well. So very interesting. Playing them both at elite, 14 points, 16 points. That gives us the 2 points of wiggle room for a plot. And in this case, we're going to play advanced training. What better plot to play with a bunch of troopers than advanced training? They are essentially legendary dice. Even their blanks now do damage, which is really, really awesome. And then, of course, the battlefield that most people play with troopers because it's just so good is military camp. Power action, activate up to 2 of your characters that share a subtype. If one of those characters is a trooper, you may reroll one of the character dice, or one of its character dice. So, power action, military camp, roll out both Kess and Cara, 4 die in the pool instantly, and then you can use Kess's ability to resolve all 4 dice all at once. It's so fantastic. So, well, what are we going to do? Well, Cara wants us to play weapons, right? How are we going to win the game? She wants us to play weapons, and we got a couple of really cool weapons in this new set of ARH. Specifically, and I am playing 2 copies of it, we got Cara Dune's Blaster. 2 cost weapon upgrade. It's got a 1 gun, a 2 gun, a 2 guns for $1, and it's plus 2 guns, a 1 shield, and a blank. So it's got 4 damage sides. And again, if you play this on Cara Dune, her 1 stick, 2 stick, 2 stick can be resolved as range, so that plus 2 is really not a problem. But it also has a couple of passive abilities. Attached character's weapon dice showing blanks may be resolved as melee damage with a value of 1. Oh my lord, so good. So as soon as you play Cara Dune's Blaster on any character, any other weapons that you play on them, their dice are all legendary as well. They have no blanks. So not only are we playing advanced training to get the character dice to have no blanks, but we also have the ability to have weapon dice with no blanks. So you're resolving so many dice in this deck. It's so good. It also has this upgrade. If this upgrade is on Cara Dune, it gains redeploy. So can't play Cara Dune without playing her signature blaster. It is unique, so you only get to play 1, but not a big deal. Another 2-cost weapon that we're playing, another new one from ARH, is I'm playing 2 copies of the new Westar 35 Blaster Pistol. It is a weapon upgrade, fits right along with Cara Dune's Blaster. It's got a 2 gun, a plus 2 gun, a 2 indirect, a 1 shield, 1 money blank. Has redeploy, and it says after you activate attached character, if you control the battlefield, you may deal 1 damage to a character. You're playing troopers. You're resolving all of your dice up front as soon as you can. More than likely, you're going to be claiming the battlefield most of the time. You're also playing red, which has seizing territory in it. Take control of the battlefield. So more than likely, you're going to have the battlefield 90% of the time playing this deck. What better way than to get 2 extra damage or up to 2 extra damage on roll off just because you control the battlefield? Such a great blaster. This blaster slots into a number of different decks. I'm also thinking about Pyre decks that would love this blaster as well. Another 2 cost. And again, if you have Cara Dune's Blaster out, that blank on the bottom is 1 melee. So a fully resolvable die. Speaking of Cara Dune's Blaster and her ability with other weapons, a 1-drop blaster that I think is pretty good. It's decent for 1. In this deck with Cara Dune's Blaster, it is phenomenal for 1 cost is the DC 17 Hand Blaster. Just a straight up upgrade weapon with a 1 gun, 2 guns for $1, 2 indirect, a money blank blank. But those blanks turn into 1 melee when you have Cara Dune's Blaster out. So a 1 cost, fully resolvable die that you don't have to worry about blanks with Cara Dune's Blaster out. So we're playing 6 weapon upgrades in this deck. But we also need to play a few other trooper synergies. There's a couple of staple trooper support style cards that we play. And the first one of those is Conscript Squad. Kess is a trooper leader, so when you roll out Kess, you automatically get to roll out the Conscript Squad. It's also a trooper die, so it plays very, very nicely with our plot, Advanced Training. Those blanks become one indirect damage. Along with the +1 and the +2 modifiers, you can modify those with Cara's dice if she's got a weapon on her, or any of the other weapon dice that might be out there. You can do a lot of damage very quickly. Also plays really nice with Kess's ability to resolve trooper dice. Another staple card that we play, because we're playing troopers, Riot Shield. Block for 3 health. I think of this card as kind of removal. It removes 3 sticks essentially off of the table if someone's trying to resolve big blue dice against me. And it's just, we're only playing with 2 11 health characters, so having that extra shielding really helps out in the long run. 2 other support cards that we're playing that I don't get a lot of play because, I mean, realistically, when you're playing this game, you're resolving 2 dice here, 1 die there. With Kess and Cara, because of all the trooper synergies, you have the ability to resolve 4, 5, 6 dice maybe at a time. So I'm playing 2 copies of Concerted Effort, kind of the dark horse in the deck. It's a support 1 cost that says after you resolve a die, if you have resolved 3 or more die this turn, you may exhaust the support to deal 1 damage to a character. Non-unique, put 2 of them out on the table. Action Kess Dameron, resolve at least 3 dice, boom, Concerted Effort does an extra damage to somebody, or 2 damage if you have 2 of them out. That's like resolving another 2 ranged, or 2 sticks. It's just extra damage out of hand that can't really be interacted with. It's so good, and it plays so well in this deck. So, we're playing 2 dice characters. We have the potential for 5 upgrades, with Cara's Blaster being unique, and we also have 2 Conscript Squads. So not a ton of dice, but still quite a bit. Well, how are we going to pay for these? Because if you notice, there's a couple of blasters that have money sides. There's a couple of blasters that have pay sides, and so you don't really want to use your money to play your blasters. Well, in ARH, they released a brand new card. It's kind of like a tech team, but for weapons, and it's called Armory. 0 cost, support, it says action, discard the support to play a weapon, decreasing its cost by 1. If that weapon was played on a red character, draw a card. This card is insane. Not only does it reduce the cost of any of your weapons, so you have now a 0 cost, 1 cost, 1 cost weapons, but you also get to draw a card. It replaces itself. Draw into removal, draw into another armory, draw into a riot shield, whatever you need. This card replaces itself, and card draw in any game is always good. We're also playing 2 copies of Merchant Freighter, because what is the quintessential card in this format that makes money? Merchant Freighter, especially in red. Red doesn't have a ton of ways to make money, so Merchant Freighter is probably your best bet. Well, we know how we're going to win the game. We know what dice we're going to roll out. We know how we're going to do a little bit of extra damage and pay for that stuff, but how do we keep our squishy 22 health total characters alive, right? We don't have Camino anymore in this set, in this meta, so we can't put another character out. So we got to keep them alive somehow, and we do that in the form of removal. So we're playing troopers, we're playing extra conscript squads. 2 cards that I always include in any trooper deck is 2 copies of Measure for Measure. 0 cost, remove a trooper die, remove 1 of your dice. It's pretty good, especially early game when people are trying to ramp into more resources. I will gladly trade a 1 gun or a blank that happens to be 1 indirect in order to remove some money off the table. Very good. We're going to be rolling a lot of guns. That's what we want here. We have a lot of blasters also as well. So we're running 2 copies of Rebel Assault. Remove 1 of my guns or play only if I'm showing guns. I don't have to remove anything from my side, but I get to remove your specials or your discards or whatever it might be that you're trying to do. Up against Inquisitors who want to use their specials to turn your dice to blanks, Rebel Assault can remove those specials. So Two one-cost cards that I also play in here since we're playing two troopers is near miss. Spot two characters that share a subtype to remove a die. Great, great early game. Maybe round 2, after you've played some upgrades, you can spot your two troopers to remove a die. Late game, not as great, especially if you have a character down, but it's still a pretty good removal. Speaking of all these dice that you're going to be rolling in, action the battlefield, let's say it's round 2, and you've got maybe a DC 17 on Cara, maybe you also got lucky and put Cara's blaster out. So Cara's looking at 4 dice, Kess is looking at 2, you got 6 dice that you roll automatically into the pool because you claimed and then used the power action on military camp at the beginning. I include 2 copies of Route to maximize the effectiveness of my removal based on the amount of dice that I have in the pool. So for 1 cost, you get to remove 1 die for every 3 dice that are in your pool. You have roll out with 2 upgrades, 6 dice in your pool, remove 2 for 1. Very, very good. Headstrong costs 2 and you have to spot yellow. This one costs 1 as long as you have dice in the pool, and we definitely want to put our dice in our pool. So I'm also playing 1 other card, 2 copies of Power of the Tribe. It is a 2-cost heavy piece of removal, but it's really good because as long as you've got 2 characters out, you can remove 2 dice. So Route was phenomenal at 1 cost to remove up to 2, maybe even 3 dice. Power of the Tribe is decent. 2 cost to remove at least 1, if not 2, if you get it early. I wouldn't play it turn 1. But late in the game, when you're still have 2 characters alive, or mid game when you have a couple characters alive and a bunch of upgrades out already, and you're stocking up on that money because you don't need it now, Power of the Tribe comes in clutch. Pay the 2, get rid of 2 dice. So the last 4 cards in the deck that I play, I consider them utility cards. Some of them fall into removal / health, and a couple other ones fall into battlefield shenanigans. So I play 2 copies of Run to Safety. Early game, it's pretty good. Or if you're mid to late game, if you have a character that's just hanging on for dear life, you just need to get through this round. You just need to survive this last attack. Then you can claim the battlefield and roll out. Run to Safety is really good for that. You get to heal 1 damage from a character, and then you may heal 2 damage from another character that shares a subtype. So heal 1 from Kess and 2 from Cara, or vice versa. Whatever you need to do to just stay alive. It's pretty good. And the reason we're staying alive, and one of my favorite cards in all of red, it's a red neutral. You're rolling out a ton of dice. You've claimed the battlefield, and you just really want to roll out your dice and automatically action everything you can with Kess's ability. I play 2 copies of Seize the Day. Play only if you control the battlefield, gain 2 actions. You have Kess who's about to go down, or Cara who's about to go down with a bunch of upgrades, and you're facing down a Palpatine or a Big Vader who's got maybe 4 health left, or 4 health and 2 shields, right? You need 6 damage. You can play Seize the Day. You roll out everybody off of a power action of military camp, and then you can use Kess's action to just focus and turn into anything and everything you could possibly want and resolve at least 4 of your trooper dice. So very, very good. But this is the deck. It's fast, it's quick. It wants you to play your money on upgrades early, and it wants you to protect your characters late. And I think it's good. There's a few cards that I could see swapping into this. Cards like Focus Fire would be really good in this deck for some damage out of hand. I could even see swapping out Kess for, I don't know, Benthic in yellow. That way you could have things like Instigate and things like that. Benthic is 16 points, so you wouldn't be able to play the Trooper plot, but Benthic is still pretty good, especially his ability and power action and stuff. So, but this is my mono red build. And I hope you guys enjoyed it today. It's really fun. We're going to do some gameplay videos with this, and so we will have those up on the channel soon as well. So let me know what you think. See you guys in the next one.
Are you looking for some cards to finish out your collection? Or maybe a hard sought-after Neiman to finish out your playset? At TopDeckTCG.com, you can find everything you need from the secondary market, from hard-to-find cards to alternate arts. They even have strategy and content from all of the top content creators in the Star Wars Destiny community. Check them out today. And if you use promo code ONTHESENSORS, you'll get 10% off your entire order. Check out TopDeckTCG.com today.